Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And today we are going to do a character guide on my girl Celes. We just went into some height polls. I forgot to hit record during my stream, but if you want to see my polls, just open up my stream video. It's like the first thing in the stream. So we're just going to call that my poll video if you guys want to see those polls. But I am remembering to record the character guide here. So some of you are all here with me watching live. But those of you that if you're watching it later, this is the character guide for Celes. And for future reference, if you didn't know that I live stream, if you guys like and sub, hit that notification. I do periodically do live streams when new characters come out, and you can get early access to the character guides if you're interested in that. So Celes, what we're going to do in this video, we're going to look at her calls, we're going to look at her artifacts, we're going to look at her spheres, and we're just going to do a little showcase and show you how she works. For those of you not familiar with Celes, Celes is a very cool character. She is a magic absorbing tank. So she specializes in basically locking in enemies to her, and any magic damage that comes her way, she's actually going to absorb it and gain Brave from it. She also has a bit of healing, and she does some traps that are pretty nifty, and she's an Ice Enchant and Peril character, so she's got a lot of good things going for her, right? And now with her BT or FR, she's looking pretty spicy, I'm not going to lie. She's a pretty spicy character. We're going to check her out in the showcase here, but first, let's go ahead and start with her calls, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Celes has some very good calls. So the 15 is called Runic. Now, I use Celes call actually quite a bit because there are characters in the game that want to be targeted but don't have lock. So anytime that I have a character that wants to be targeted that does not inherently lock themselves, Celes call is very good. An example of this would be like Shadow. I think Shadow is a character that doesn't lock, but he can really benefit from being targeted. So having this call is very good because Runic will just give you lock, and then it does allow you to absorb magic brave damage, which is really cool, right? And then Freeze Dive is really awesome because, one, this heals the party, and I always like healing calls because you always get those fights where the enemies will just tap you with that pesky HP damage at the end. It puts you under the HP requirement, and you like to have that on-demand heal for when that stuff happens, right? So Freeze Dive alone for the heal is great, but it also does a trap called Magitech Ice Block, so you get like a free trap with it. You get lock as well, so she has both skills that lock, so this is really good if you just want locking ability, and you get two of them, and then it does Ice and Peril. So, dude, Celes has some top-notch calls, and I use Celes call actually quite a darn bit. Like I said, literally anytime I need lock on a character, I just grab Celes, and she's so good. And the reason why she's better than other lock calls is because not only are you getting the lock, but you're getting the magic absorb with it, so it's just like a freebie, right? So, we take that, for sure. Let's go ahead and look at Celes herself. Her artifacts are very easy. You just want to go attack 108, max brave 330. She's one of the older characters, so she doesn't have like a crazy C50 passive or anything like that. So just really basic with her, attack 108, max brave. You could justify, if you wanted to. I do have one passive like this, but you could go attack 108 iBrave. She does do a little bit of battery scaled on iBrave. So if you want to improve her battery, iBrave isn't the worst thing to put on her. But I would definitely prioritize attack because she actually does pretty decent damage herself, especially if you're going to feature her with her FR. You definitely want more damage. And she has traps, and that's going to make her traps look better as well. So I would recommend attack 108 max brave, but a little iBrave wouldn't hurt if you like iBrave. Let's go ahead and look at the spheres. So she's got an A, a B, and a D slot. So a very interesting mix here, right? So A is like your attacking slot. So what you want to do here, once again, this is a very open-ended one. But you want attack or brave damage there. If you can get attack with max brave, so something like a Sephiroth is very, very good as well. I just did a magic attack one because she has magic attack. And so for me, it was kind of like looking at just extra spheres I had without necessarily needing to make a new one. So I got Papa Limo here, which is just when you attack a broken target, magic attack by 15%. That is a big fat magic attack up. So I definitely like that just because I happen to have it. But it doesn't mean that it's the best one, right? Now, she does do weakness damage, so my big recommendation for weakness damage, I really like Rydia, because you're getting brave damage and attack rolled into one. But like I said, putting on like a Sephiroth or something with attack and max brave is also a really nice mix to have, right? On the B slot, now her own sphere is actually pretty solid on her. I went ahead and did Snow, because I'm going more the attack route here. In Snow, it's basically if you're targeted, you get an attack up. Well, any locking character can really benefit from this sphere. So I put Snow on there just because I know that my Celes is going to be locked on, and I just want to give her more attack. So that's the route I kind of went with it. But Gladio would be another good one, right? It just depends on what type of sphere you want to put on. but I definitely think like Gladio could be a really nice one as well. I think Gabronth could be decent if you want to like just have more like brave damage reduction for the party. The thing is Celes is going to be like absorbing everything, and she's already providing, like you'll see when we go through her kit, she provides a lot of brave damage reduction already. So you almost don't even need like a Gabronth, right? Which is why I think she's very safe to go the offensive route. So like I said, I actually really like Snow there. Now her own, I believe, is like a Brave Gain one. So if you want a little bit more Brave Gain, like you could go with her own too. The D-Sphere, I think hands down, Wakka's very, very good here. And she's got enough buffs to like fill this out. So the big thing with Wakka is you have to have like 5 buffs. Well, Celes can inherently do that. So any character that can fulfill Wakka's, like Wakka's hands down is one of the best Ds in the game. The problem with Wakka Sphere is just not a lot of characters can use it inherently, or they need help with buffs from other characters, right? But Celes, she can just use this sucker. So party Max Brave and Attack, and that's that magic combo. Max Brave and Attack is a fantastic combo if you can get it together on the Sphere. So I would definitely say Wakka there is my top pick. I would shout out like a Luna Freya though would be really good here, especially if you play during the Luna Freya event and you refined a bunch of them, because that's a weakness damage and it's going to be a party attack up. And then there's like just that whole slew of other party attack ups, right? Like Hope is probably one of the best because that's another attack max brave, so like Hope is very, very good, right? Cissnei, Queen, Ashe, Saz, Lise, like there's just so many D slots that are party attack. I would just pick your favorite party attack that she can fulfill, but I would shout out Luna Freya because it's weakness damage and not every character can do that. But Wakka to me is like big time number one there. Wakka, Wakka, Wakka. And conveniently enough, Wakka is featured on this banner. So I haven't looked yet if there's like a co-op with this 6-man, but if there's a co-op with a refinable shop, definitely refine up some Wakkas and maybe even some Celeses because hers isn't bad, but you definitely want to refine some of these up so that you're ready to go. So, with that, let's hop into a fight. Now, what I'm going to do in this fight for the showcase, I'm going to do an aggressive fight, and it may overtake me and get, because I'm not running my safety net Gladio here, right? I could probably run Gladio and make it safe, but I'm going to try it with Core, and I'm actually going to run Cater. Cater, I think, synergizes super well with Celes because Cater inherently has ice damage already. I mean, Celes is going to enchant anyway, so that isn't super important, but I like Cater with her dodging. She's got traps, a little bit of off turn in there. So we're going to try some Cater action in here. And then, well, I don't know. Maybe I should just bring, what I might do? Because I'm going to use Cater on the 6-man. No, I don't want to bring Gladio. No. So the reason why I wanted to do Cater instead of Gladio is because Gladio is a cover tank, right? And Gladio kind of will mess up Celes because Celes needs to absorb brave damage for it. I remember I had a logical reason why I didn't bring Gladio. Because part of her force effect is she needs to absorb brave damage. Well, if Gladio is cover tanking, she's not going to be able to do that effectively. So I'm going to run Cater. We'll just leave it like this. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the fight here. So I am doing this Chapter 9, this Act 3 Chapter 9 Ultimecia fight. I will bring a selfie, and hey, look at that. My brother's selfie is ready to go. I know it's Force Enhanced 30. I know he would not give me one of those GIMP selfies, so that's good. Cater can force charge. I do think Cater's underrated. I love Cater, so I've got like I even did an Ultima gun on Cater just for this video here, so let's go ahead and hop in. But we'll get some force charging off. What I'll kind of do is I'm just going to start by showing off some of her base kit. Then we might kind of rush into a force time and try to get that going. I don't know if I'm going to do Celes' full burst phase. I might. We'll see. This fight's going to be really aggressive, though. Let's see how we handle it. So you can see, Cater's just right out of the gate dodge countering, and then Celes is just absorbed it. So that did like nothing to us, right? So what I recommend you do with Celes is I usually would open with the 35. Characters like this, it's very important you get that lock on. So her 35 is called Runic. So let's go and pop that. Now this is a free instant turn, by the way, and then she does follow up with an attack. Okay? Dude, 400k for a Runic? That's actually not bad. So this does a party battery, and this scales on iBrave. So as I mentioned earlier, this is where iBrave could come into play if you want to help buff that up a little bit. She gets a free turn right after. She gets Brave Magic Absorb, so that's like literally the Runic ability from Final Fantasy VI. So Brave Magic Absorb, it absorbs magic brave damage, and then just gives her a bunch of buffs as well. So Max Brave up, Allies Magic Brave. So Allies Magic Brave taken minus 80%, which is crazy. And then it does do a Party Ice Enchant. So this is all coming from the buff that comes from Runic, right? And then physical brave damage taken minus 30. So even if it's not magic damage, you're not totally down in the dumps. You're actually getting physical damage reduction as well. And then overall, you're getting 30% HP damage reduction. So this is a true tanking buff, okay? So that's just one of the buffs that comes from Runic. And then she just gets a normal attack up, and then it does put lockdown on the enemies. So now the enemies, any single target attacks are going to come at Celes, right? And the nice thing is, if they're magic, she's going to absorb them. If they're physical, she won't, but we'll talk about that later. Then what I would do is I would definitely go ahead and hop into the LD, okay? I'll just show the AA really quick. So the AA is just like an instant turn. If you need a quick spot, throw a lock on really quick. That's basically what the AA is for. And it does carry a brave damage up as well, so that's fine, a brave damage limit up, which is decent. But let's go ahead and pop the LD, which is freeze dive. This is a very important part of her kit. I kind of want to see the damage here, because this is my first time using her after the rework. We literally came right out of the pull video, so let's see how much damage we got. Okay, so 630k AoE, that's pretty solid, right? So what this does is this does do a party heal, which is really nice. The thing with Celes that's really cool, she doesn't just serve as like a tank, but she's also could be like your support, because she's doing all that healing, right? Because she has healing and she has batteries. So this attack also batteries. This does give her a skill use of skill 1 and skill 2 back. So that's really awesome as well. This also refreshes her Brave Magic Absorb. So that ridiculous buff that I just got done explaining. Also, I didn't mention that the Brave Magic Absorb is a stacking buff. And so this does add stacks to it. And the stacks just affect that there's like a max Brave up that comes with it. And it just makes that bigger. Okay. So just know that that's going to be stacking up. Your max Brave up is going to go bigger from that. This puts a debuff called Magitech Ice Block down on the enemies, and basically what it's going to do, it's going to increase the brave damage the enemies take, which is very good, and then it just triggers a Magitech Ice Block trap, and then it does put Ice and Peril down on the enemies. Now the Magic Block Ice Trap, which you're going to see pop off here eventually, also heals, so that's awesome. It's like an off-turn heal trap, which is very, very good, right? So we've got all that from the LD. It does all that great stuff. So now that the LD's up, we've got lock on, we've got the Magitech Ice Blocks, we got all those things we want, right? I don't know, should I do some crazy shenanigans with Core? Maybe we should. Yeah, let's do some shenanigans. So let's go ahead, and we're actually going to put Oath of Absolute Defense on Cater. We'll swap out Cater for Selfie. We'll just do a bunch of wall charging, and we'll put some launch down, and then because we'll try to get like a pretty good force time here and see how it looks, right? And then we'll do Lion's Roar. We'll see how nasty Ultimecia's attacks are. I think we're going to be fine, though, because Cater's going to be dodging. So with Cater, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop like a triple slip just to make sure we have our dodging. But we should be good there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap into Selfie. And then Selfie's going to go ahead and just pop the LD buff. And then the next time Selfie comes up, we'll just Force Charge. And then we'll get into Celes' Force. But from this point forward, once you kind of do that setup, you can kind of pick and choose the attacks you want. And I'll continue to explain what those do, right? Okay, so now with Core, now that Cater's out of there, we can go ahead and apply Oath of Absolute Defense to Celes. So now we're doing our little exploit there to have that on all the characters. Okay. Alright, so now with Celes, we still have the BT, which we haven't used yet. I do want to get that set up, so maybe I will pop that right now. Let's do it. Let's pop the BT effect right now. So I want to make sure that's up for her force time, because it's very, very important. So let's see. I've never seen this yet. Let's see how cool this one looks. Searching for friends. Alright, how much damage are we going to get on this? Oh yeah, lock hopping in. Nice. Love that. Alright, so yeah, 1.2 mil AoE. That's a pretty good shot right there, right? Okay. So let's go over what all she's getting from this BT effect, right? So it's just a big, huge AoE attack that you saw there, right? So her burst effect, which is an 8-turn party effect, okay? The big thing about this that is so significant, which is why if you're going to go in on Celes, you really want this, it basically makes it so all enemy attacks become magic attacks. So Celes' big weakness in the past was that she's this cool magic absorb tank, but she was kind of useless in physical fights. Now, you can use her against anything, and this is a good example because the enemy on the left is going to be using physical attacks, and now they're going to be turned into magic. So now she's going to absorb all those. Ultimecia was already doing magic, so we are already absorbing that. But now we absorb everything, which is really awesome. Then it does brave damage up, brave damage limit up, HP damage up, HP damage limit up, HP damage taken down, and brave gains up. So this is all party buffs, right? Very, very good BT party buffs. So the big thing this is doing, making the enemies only do magic attacks, which is absolutely huge, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to just wall out here. I think we are. We will just wall out and force charge up. And then what'll happen is Cater will come in and we can just keep force charging with Cater. And then I think on Celes' next turn, we're going to be ready to pop it and see how it looks. Pop that force time. I still need to show you the 15 CP, which is Shine Edge, by the way. We'll get there. But then I think we'll have just about gone through every attack, right? Dude, Celes is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm just such a Final Fantasy VI guy. I just love it. All right. And the big thing I want to do is I want to make sure I do not press Blizzard or ROK with Cater because she also locks, but I don't want her to override Celes' lock. So I'm just going to triple slip here until we get force charged up. And then I'll probably just use like Cater's LD. Why not? Yep, one more. Oh, Cater had back-to-back turns there. I guess I could have LD'd right away. All right, so... Oh, actually, the EX is pretty fire. What I'll do is I'll LD first. And then I'll EX. Oh, and actually, I should... This is the other thing that gets so overlooked with Cater. Like how I say Cater is underrated. One, she's a force charger. Two, she's a dodge counter trap character. Like, she has trap, she has counter dodging, right? But the big thing with Cater, and the reason people love Setzer so much, is the freeze debuff. Cater's got it on the EX. So she technically has infinite uses of it if you can get to it. The freeze debuff is so ridiculously clutch. It's not even funny how good that freeze debuff is. And Cater's got it, and people don't talk about Cater. Dude, she's so busted. I love Cater. Okay, anyways, enough of me selling Cater. We're talking about Celes. All right, let's see what happens here. But between the freeze debuff, we've got Runic on. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do any damage to us here, even without our wall Gladio, right? This is, by the way, the kind of the main setup I'm going to use on the 6-man fight. Oh, confused. That's such a bummer. Okay, so Celes got confused. So we got to let that confuse wear off. So that's why I probably should put Raijin on, because I think Raijin allows you to dodge debuffs, so having Raijin would have been nice. But we can just watch some of this work here, right? So Celes still absorbed, even though she's confused. You know, Cater's got the counter, like this, the Magic Tech Ice Traps, like look at this going off. Look at all this going off, and we're not even into the Force yet. I'm sure, let's take a free Reaper's Gal. Alright, and who's got Raijin Call? I gotta pop that Raijin Call, because I can't be getting confused in the showcase here. Alright, we're gonna Raijin Prod right here. I wish I would have popped that earlier. That's okay. So Celes, it's gonna be a hot minute, because Celes has to get confused, then we gotta get around to her turn again, but that's fine. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to HP attack because I don't want to take off Oath of Absolute Defense right here. Alright. But I think Celes is going to be great in a defense comp, and I think this is a very good aggressive fight to show her off. It's just quite unfortunate that I have her confused right now. Oh, wait! Her confused popped off. Okay, that's... Oh! Raijin heals it, right? Like, Raijin... yeah, the Raijin Call healed it. So yeah, we got the confuse off. This is perfect. Okay. So Celes, we're going into Force right here. And we've got her burst effect up, which is what we want. Alright, I'm excited to see how much this Force gauge is going to pop off. So let's go ahead and pop the Force. This is called Change the Air. And she's got her boy Bosch as the partner. Shout out to Bosch Rush, which Mark coined during Boss Rush because he kept mispronouncing it. So Bosch Rush. Get ready for some Bosch Rush, everybody. Right here. Alright, so, okay, about 1.5 mil AoE, 1.4, 1.3. Okay, so I just want to watch this with you guys, and I'm going to talk about what her Force effect all does. But let's just watch the gauge kind of start to pop. Okay, 5%. And then we're going to absorb. Oh, it missed. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we got a little bit of gauge there. Alright, let's talk about what her Force is. So Change the Air. So it put 6 more turns of Magitech Ice Block on, so it reapplies the trap. And then the HP damage conditions. Basically, if you absorb Brave damage, it's plus 20% per ally. If Celes attacks an enemy who is targeting her, which should be all the time, that's another 20%. Any Ice Brave damage is 5%, but it's 25% if Celes deals the damage, right? So we'll kind of watch what the gauge does as we go through. So I think with Cater here, we'll just do a wide shot max charge here, I guess. Sure. All right, we want the enemies to go and like increase the gauge. So this is one of those Force gauges where it's going to be small numbers, but you get a lot of ticks if the enemies are aggressive, right? Let me check what my Oath of Absolute Defense is. We got 4 turns here, and we've got... Oh, is it gone? Okay, Cater... Oh, yeah, Cater did all those triple slips. So I'm free to reapply Oath now on Celes, but she's got 4 turns, so I'll do the EX here. Alright. And then let's see how much this gauge is going to be popping. I really want the enemies to get going. That's really going to get our gauge flying high, right? So 8% there, but then we're going to get more additionals here, which, you know, we're going to get those small ticks, right? So Confuse, but that gets absorbed. 20% for the absorption. Very nice. And then the Ice Block is going to trigger 25% on the Ice Blocks, you guys. So these are off-turn 25% on the Ice Blocks. That's crazy. All right, let's see what happens. More just off-turns coming in. Just pushing the gauge up, right? Just push it up. Here's a big all attack. How much are we going to get from that? We're going to get a miss. So we got 20% there, but then we get a counter. The counter is going to push it up. Magitech Ice Block, 25. That is what's huge, you guys, is we're getting 25% on the off-turn Ice Blocks. So you want to make sure you upkeep that Ice Block. So 6 turns of it there. How many do you have? Magitech Ice Block, 7 turns. So the Ice Block is just crazy, right? Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I think it's from her EX. Oh, we didn't do her EX. Okay, let's do the EX. I'm like, there's something I forgot to tell you guys, but yeah, it's on the EX. We didn't do it yet. Let's do Spinning Edge. This should do a lot of damage. Let's see how much damage we get from this EX. This should do some fat damage. Oof, yeah, 3.7 mil right there. Okay, and now they're cutting, which is good. And then we're just going to watch the gauge go up. But here's what her EX does. It doesn't have like a lot of crazy effects to it, but it's a really big fat attack, and it gives her a Rune Knight buff. So this Rune Knight buff does magic attack up, brave regen up, HP regen, party max brave up, party brave damage up, brave gains and HP damage up, all for the party. But the big thing that this is what made me think to use the EX. Any new debuff she applies gets an extra 2 turns onto them, and that would include the Magitech Ice Block. So it's going to make those a lot more potent, right? Now, while I was sitting explaining that, not looking at my screen, we're all of a sudden at a 400% force gauge because the enemies were being aggressive and trying to beat us up, right? I suppose I could just pop an LD here. This way I can reapply the freeze and do a lot of damage, right? Because, you know, that's like a 1.7 mil, 1.4 mil right there. And this is just like beauty, like watching these aggressive enemies. And my understanding is the 6-man is very aggressive, so I'm going to use a very similar team comp to this in the 6-man. So yeah, 25% on these Ice Blocks. All right, once again, tempting the Reaper scale, but I want the enemies to take turns. So I'm just going to Snow Break, and I'm going to reapply to Celes here. And just let the enemies, just let them sever themselves on my sword, right? And just let them kill themselves, basically. And we just take all these little force gauges. We'll see what these enemies get down to. So yep, just absorb it. I'll take that 20%. Magitech, sure, another 25%. We'll take it. This is so unique in that, like, 25% has got to be, like, one of the biggest off-turn HP damage bonuses I've seen. Like, so the fact that you're getting that off-turn is ridiculous. Because we're just pushing that gauge up so much with that. Look at this gauge go crazy. And that was, by the way, 2.5 mil on a trap we just did right there. Right, so it's not just that the trap is upping the gauge, it's doing a lot of damage. 2.7 mil with a 1 mil splash? Are you kidding me? We're on turn 5, 600%. This is going to be one of those fights where we're basically going to be pushing towards 999. I don't know if we'll get there because the enemies might die too quick, right? What do we want to do with Cater? Let's pop the EX. This is going to be big damage. Big damage. See what we got here. Yeah, mil AoE, we take that. That's fine. Alright, so Celes, what do we want to do? Oh, we haven't used Shine Edge yet. I guess we got to use that, right? So Shine Edge is the 15. Let's go ahead and pop that. And I do not want to break. I don't remember if this is AoE. We'll see. Oh, yeah, he's going to break. So that's unfortunate. We didn't want to break him back, but, you know, our follow-up got there. Dude, 4.2 mil. I mean, I know we're at 600%, but damn. Okay, so Shine Edge. Big attack you saw there. It is a party heal, and this is a very easy on-demand party heal. So that's something I really like about her. Does apply HP regen to herself and max brave up, which is awesome. And then that ice imperils as well. So just, it's really Shine Edge. It's a good filler attack, and it's a nice on-demand heal, right? Now, I could end the showcase right here, but dude, we got to finish this force time. Let's see what we get on this force time. Once again, tempted to Reaper scale, do a lot of damage, but we're gonna keep the line moving. We want the enemies to attack. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is, this is basically my strat, is I get to turn 1 and I pop the summon, right? Alright, yeah, go ahead. Be aggressive. Ultimisia is going to steal a bunch of turns here. Let's get it. Steal them turns. Let me push my gauge up. Dude, I don't know. I am a big fan of these defense comps. You guys, if you watch my channel, you've seen some insane defense comps. I did a Minwoo one. Like, my Max Woo video was just crazy. It's very similar to this, where we're just going insane with this damage. 3 mil on an ice block right there. Oh, and yeah, and then by the way, we got the landmine from Cater popping off, in addition to our dodge counters, right? And see that rake there? That's a physical attack, but we turned it into magic. Dude, I have no words. This is this is crazy. Crazy damage. Just insane. And this, by the way, is without even going into a Celes burst time, right? So Celes is a character I think you could, if you're going to do a defense comp, you wouldn't necessarily have to green her. Like, what you could do is just go through her whole first burst phase, pop the force after when you have the burst effect up. Now, you're not going to get as many turns on it, but I think it is doable, right? All right, we got 2 turns left. So, well, the 862, I don't know. You guys think that's a high gauge? 862 is pretty good. So let's pop an LD. Big damage here. And not to spoil it for you, but we're about to pop a 15 mil AoE summon here. Just saying. Just saying. As we push this gauge up over 900%. We are over 9... It's over 900! Too bad it's not over 9,000. But it's over 900. 925, you say. With a, you know, Cater counter there. Alright, so we're at 930. Here's what we do. Let's see if we can finish them off. Let's pop this, I don't know, 15 mil summon. Let's go. Okay, so pop the side enemy. Ultimisia is clinging to her life. And you know how we're going to finish this off. I mean, sure, let's finish it with a freeze dive. I think this should finish it, right? If not, just about darn do it. I mean, it's got to do it. It's got to be out of here. Yeah, what, 11 mil? Yeah, sure, we'll take that. That wasn't 100. No, that had to be 11 mil, right? So, all right. Anyways, guys, there you go. That's Celes. Pretty busted little character we've got here. Now, that being said, as cool as she is, she's not like a must-pull, but damn it if she isn't like a pretty darn fun character. And darn if I'm not loving these defense comps, right? So anyways, let me know what y'all think of Celes. Let me know if you summon, how your summons went. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.